Hello to the grade 10s of 2024. You are coming from the senior phase and coming to a new phase, which is the FET phase. And therefore, your content becomes more than it was last year. I'll be touching on the content for English and our expectations of you, because our work doubles this year because it's more advanced. We are having a different weighting from what you were last year when it comes to your assessments. I remember last year you were 60% and 40%, but this year we are saying you are 25% of assessment. So your assessment this year carries 25 marks, and then it becomes 25%. And then your exam, which is at the end of the year, carries your 75 marks. So the weighting is different and a little bit high. The work will be double as well, as I've said. So what we're going to do is to talk about our expectations in terms of assessment. Remember, assessment is marks. So whatever you are doing in class is preparation and contributing towards your performance in the assessment and the final. What are we talking about? We have what we call a program of assessment. When we say program, it means we follow it from the beginning of the year until the end of the year. Your assessments are from term 1, as you can see, going continuously to term 2, and then continuously to term 3, and then ending finally in term 4. So we're going to go through this program so that you are ready for whatever comes. For reasons that we give it to you at the beginning of the year, it means that we are saying this is what you will be doing. So which means we inform you beforehand that this is what we'll be requesting of you to pass in preparation of your 25%. There is no way that you can say you're going to play in your 25% and then you say you do miracles in 75. Consistency is the key. Use the program of assessment to prepare yourselves. Use the program of assessment to know your content so that when you get to your final examinations, you do not struggle or fail. It's very painful for you to fail at the end of the year and then you say it was someone else's fault, yet you did not prepare for assessments and failed your 25% and was not ready for the examination. So these two work together. They are connected. So please do not separate these two. What you do in 25%, automatically you will reap in the 75%. So we do follow the strategy, you reap what you sow. So as a result, let's get into details of what we expect of you. We always start off the year with a lot of tasks in term 1. It's the same for grade 10, 11, and 12. So get used to it this year. When you're in grade 11, it will be the same. When you're in grade 12, it will expand to 5 tasks. So let's be ready for a lot of tasks in English home language. It's not like your content subject, so don't ever compare subjects. Each subject has its own specifications. Our subject is demanding as the home language. So please get ready for the hard work that you have to put in all these tasks that we do in English home language. Less complaining, more effort is what we're looking for. Right. When we begin term 1, we have 4 tasks that are aligned to be done. And as a result, we are talking about different types of tasks. Now, when you are coming to grade 10, your content is divided into papers, which is what we're going to outline so that you know exactly what you do. You are having your paper 1, you are having your paper 2, you are having your paper 3, and then you're having your paper 4, which is orals. So what are we talking about in paper 1? Let's outline them clearly. In paper 1, we're talking about language. I believe it was your paper 2 last year. In paper 2, it is our literature paper. Paper 3 is our creative writing paper. And then paper 4, it will be your oral paper. So this is your content basically for the year of 2024 is grade 10s. This will be your content automatically for 2025, which is your grade 11. And it will be your content for 2026 when you become grade 12s. You still follow the same content. So which means it is a repetition for 3 years. which means there is no excuse by the end of the 3 years why you do not get a distinction, because you'll be doing it over and over again. Just internalize. When we say paper 1, what are we talking about? Talking about language. When we say language, oh, it's comprehension, oh, it's summary, it's visual literacy, it is language in context. So these are the things that we are going to be talking about in paper 1. There's nothing more stressful than a child coming in March and still saying, when I come in and say, guys, we were doing visual literacy, take out your books, and then you say, ma'am, which book? That's a paper 1 book. So anytime we're touching on comprehension, on summary, on visual literacy, on language in context, it is automatically language. So please know your content. Know how you divide your content and what is in each content so that you do not cause confusion on yourself. When I'm talking and saying, guys, today we're doing paper 2, you must know automatically she's talking about us doing poetry, us doing a novel, us doing drama, which is a play. So we need you guys to know your content from the beginning and don't confuse yourselves and say, but I didn't bring the book. I don't know which one is the poetry book. When ma'am says paper 2 literature, what does she mean? So please, let's know our content. Paper 3 is creative writing. Creative writing is our essay writing, and it is our transactional writings. So prepare yourselves for this. And this is our big mark allocation paper, because it's 100 marks. This is our paper 2, which is 80 marks. This is our paper 1, which is 70 marks. So prepare yourselves in advance. When I say paper 3, people must know. So don't come to us and say, ma'am, I don't know what is paper 3. This is why we're outlining them to you at the beginning of the year for you to prepare yourself. Our oral paper, when you say oral, it is our orals. All right, now that we know it's 50 marks, now that we know our content, we know what's in each paper, let's go and see exactly what we're supposed to be doing. Going to start with paper 4, our oral paper, and look at the tasks that we call paper 4. The tasks that we call paper 4 are these ones. This is an oral listening for comprehension. That's definitely 1. This is an oral unprepared speech. That's definitely 2. 15 plus 15 is 30 marks, which means in term 1, you're doing 2 orals and they give you 30 marks. In term 2, you have your task number 6, which is oral prepared speech or unprepared reading aloud, which is 10 marks, which gives you 40 marks. Automatically in term 3, you are having your final oral, which gives you your 50 marks because it's 10 marks, and it will be this. So as a result, that's what we call our oral paper. It is all tasks that have to do with the listening skill, that have to do with the speaking skill. So by where we test your understanding and how you deliver it orally, and therefore that's what we'll be looking for. So as a result, task number 1, task number 3, task number 6, and task number 9 are what you call your oral paper out of 50 marks. Preparation is needed. Confidence is needed. So as a result, knowledge is also a key because we have a prepared speech here. But when you say a prepared speech, you're given time to go and look at it and research, give us the facts, and then give us your input. You really need to prepare and not come to us not even having evidence for it. We're always saying, hey, you have evidence of what you're talking about, but you can't come and preach to me and you don't have evidence. So as a result, when we're teaching in grade 9, when we're teaching literature, Merchant of Venice will give you the scenarios of Rome and the streets of Rome, and you'll see exactly what we're talking about. So you also need to do that with your speech for us to understand it. It must be accompanied by visual aids. When you say unprepared speech, we are asking you about things in general, CAPS knowledge. Remember, you're doing the CAPS syllabus, and the CAPS syllabus outlines that you must be knowledgeable in a whole lot of areas, geographically, economically, technologically, generally, life skills wise, you must be knowledgeable. So which means we are giving you a topic on the spot, then we give you a few minutes to think about it, and then you have to present to us. So you can't come to us and say you don't know. You must be readers. You must be researchers. You must be knowledgeable of what's affecting you, what is affecting others, what is happening around you, what is happening in the world globally. You must know. So you cannot come to us and we're talking about civil war and you don't know what is happening in Israel. Yet it's been on the news for so long, the whole of December, we've been having it. And then you say you don't know. How is it possible that you don't know? Because this has been on the Google News almost every day. So this is what we mean when we say when you are learners, you must be able to read what is happening around the world. So as a result, when we're talking about the effects of uprooting people, where are we seeing it in the world? You must be able to know, oh, yes, I've seen this in the news. Of course, you don't have newspapers anymore because newspapers are in technology form. Google News is a sort of newspaper because you read everything and everything there around the world, around you. You can even Google it to say in South Africa, in the world, you can get whatever you need. So as we are saying, now we're going to crypto money. People must not be saying, I don't know what that is because we're moving to another currency whereby it's really going to dominate in 2024. I'm just giving examples. Old as I am, I know. How about young as you are? The only thing you'll know crypto is when you only want to make money, but you don't know its effects, you don't know its benefits, you don't know its weaknesses, and those are the things that we're talking about. So as a result, you must be knowledgeable. You must know exactly what is the effects of whatever is coming in, what are the effects of whatever is not there, and you must be able to translate it and give us a prepared or unprepared speech on that. So please use your technology wisely. People are just on TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. That's it. Please, even on Twitter, just on Twitter, there's news. It's not just the rumors and the gossip and all that. There is news as well of what's happening in the current ones. So you can be able to do that as well and get information, then go and Google more and find out more. So as a result, that's where we see your knowledge. And that's where we're testing your capabilities of being a thinker and a reader and a presenter of information that is existing and is there. So you can't come to an unprepared speech and make up new things. How can you make up new things? Because we're asking you about things that are existing, yet you don't know. Be knowledgeable, please. So as a result, you need to change your mentality when coming to FET because you're no longer on TikTok 24/7. Now you're saying, I really don't know what is happening. Where in this country? Where in this country is this? Why is this happening? And you need to find out. If the news have the headline of the United States of America, what is making United States of America the headline is what you should know. It will come in handy at such times, not only in the oral paper, but in paper 1, whereby you have the comprehension passage. Comprehension passage is what is existing now and around us, but someone doesn't even know what is happening and therefore they don't even understand. Right now, people are talking about service delivery and all these things, but you don't even understand the pros and the cons of service delivery. Who is failing who and what is failing and how can it be solved? Yet you don't even know what service delivery is because you don't even listen to the news, don't even read the news, you don't even watch the news, and therefore you don't even know what is happening, which means you will fail that comprehension passage. So as a result, these are the things that were coming in when we're saying program them into your system, program them into your timetables and make time for you to be readers and knowledgeable because that's what we need in FET up to grade 12. So as a result, those are our paper 4 task where we're talking about oral listening for comprehension, oral unprepared speech. So please prepare yourselves for that. Oral prepared speech. Automatically, there's a connection between task number 6 and task number 9. Task number 6 says it's an oral prepared speech or an unprepared reading aloud. So if you have done as task number 6, the prepared speech, automatically you're doing the unprepared reading aloud in task number 9. It's automatic. Don't be questioning the teacher and saying, so what are we doing in task number 9? Yet you have this. You will be given this. You will paste it in your books, but please do not just hide it away. Be referring back to it and automatically say, oh, yep, ma'am has given us, or sir has given us task number 1. I need to prepare myself for task number 2. The preparation is on your part. So I need you to be firm with yourselves and say, don't act surprised when the teacher says, okay, today we're doing task number 2. Then you say, but you didn't inform us. When they gave you the assessment program, that was informing you officially. So that's why we mediate on it and say, it's the first thing that we always must drill in you to say, come prepared, know what is next, know what has been done. If anyone as a district official is going to say, oh, you're in grade 10, so what have you done as assessment? You must be able to say, oh, in English home language, you've done task number 1 and task number 2. We're outstanding with task number 3 and 4 for term 1. That's a child who knows the content. That is what we call your program of assessment. It's yours. You're the one doing them, which means you're the one who must know them and internalize them. Every time we finish a task, we'll come back to it and we'll record when we finished it as an official record that it has been done. And we did it together as the educator and the learners, and it is official. So therefore, it must be pasted in your box and stay there so that we go back at the beginning and we record when we've done it. Okay, that is our paper 4, which is our oral marks, as we call them, the 50-mark paper. Let's go to paper 1. Paper 1, as we said, is our language summary. We've been doing them, but we've been doing them under a different paper in FET in senior phase. So when you're coming to FET, that change for you sometimes becomes so overwhelming. That's why we need to be constantly knowing our content according to our paper so that you don't get confused. Our task number 4 is what we call our language structures. It's language in context. It's our language paper. At the end of the term, you are going to write tests. And therefore, that test is based on paper 1, which is comprehension, as I outlined, summary, and language structure. So which means that that's where we're really going to be going into details about answering questions, doing a summary, language structures and confessions, and therefore visual literacy and all these things. That's where you're going to be changing tenses, whereby you'll be identifying concord. You've been doing these things over and over again, and therefore they are not new to you. But now they're coming in under paper 1 in FET. So there's a transition in papers that you really need to internalize and not be confusing them with what you were doing in senior phase. There is a big difference between senior phase content and FET content. So as grade 10s, we need you to be firm with yourselves to say you don't get stuck in what you're doing in grade 9 and be saying, but we were doing this under paper 2. No, please make sure that you know and align yourselves with your FET content and then follow it and know it very well. It's going to take a few weeks, but after 2 weeks, you must be set and saying, oh yeah, when you're doing paper 1, Mem is talking of comprehension or say is talking of summary. So you must know, not be saying, what is it? Is it not literature? No. So please, let's do the switching as early as possible so that in 2 weeks, you are back in the game of knowing what you do in FET and how it is done. Our second paper 1 task will be our task number 7, whereby we have a full paper of language in context, this one. So as a result, that's your mid-year examination. So you must be prepared for it and make sure that you are ready. Practice will always make perfect. All those daily activities in class, all those homeworks must be outlined and you must be able to carry them through. Our final task for paper 1 will be in term 4, which is at the end, whereby you're also writing your end of year examinations. So which means there's a lot of daily activities that we'll do because it's a demanding paper. It is not our home language, so our learners struggle to write it and understand. So as a result, we must practice. When we say look at a person's facial expression, people just see something blank. But an FET learner is supposed to see the frown, is supposed to see the raising of the eyebrows. So which means practice must be done for this paper. Descriptions must be given. Comprehension must be understood. Summary must be giving us exactly what we are supposed to do. So I need you guys to prepare yourselves is what we are supposed to do and be ready for it. So as a result, you must be able to know what you are supposed to be writing and what you're supposed to be answering. So the skill must be drilled. The skill is an everyday basis. Comprehension today, summary tomorrow, advertisement the next day, weekend, it's a language editing. So there's a lot of activities that must be done. Please cooperate with the educators and practice so that you can become able to conquer the examination. So that's your task. Those are your tasks for language in context, which is paper 1. Let's go to paper 2. We talked about paper 2 being a literature paper. This time around in FET, it's slightly different. Why? When you were in grade 9, you were doing short stories, folk tales. We are not having that anymore. Why? It's changed completely. You are doing a syllabus now that is outlined as having a prescribed list of poems. You have 10 poems that are prescribed. So please make sure that you understand the switch. They are prescribed, which means we have to study them. And then you have your novel, whereby we'll have to read the book and then we'll have to analyze it. There's drama, whereby you'll have to read a play and we have to analyze it. So as a result, these are the things that are done for 3 years consecutively. So don't confuse yourselves. You must be able to know, I'm doing poetry, I'm doing novel, and I'm doing drama now. So let's please make sure that we cooperate with our educators, because that's a lot of content in poetry. That's a lot of content in the set works. Your teachers will let you know which novels you're doing or the drama that you're doing so that you can be prepared. We don't have a literature task in term 1. We're only starting the literature task in term 2 under the mid-year examination, which means it will be the paper 2 literature paper, a full paper, by the way. So which means poems must be done. Questions on drama must be there. So which means we must separate and analyze, even if it's not even full, but we would have gone a little bit far with our drama section. So I need you guys to be ready for this one. There's a lot of reading that is done. That's why you must drill yourselves to be readers consecutively. When I was teaching my grade 9s last year, they did not know why I was doing it to them when I asked them to go join the library and make sure that they take something that they read in a week, take back and read again. I think they will understand when I'm coming in and saying, we are having a novel, we are having a drama that we are reading. So which means reading will become easier. But if you're not used to reading, it means you're going to struggle, because learners who don't read usually want to read the summaries. But unfortunately, we don't test you on the summaries. We test you on the novel or the play itself, which means you must know the sequence of events when a particular event happens and what is the result of that event. So you don't get that from the summaries. The summaries are just an edified version or a shorter version of what happens, just the plot. So we need you to be readers. We need you to have the skill of reading so that you can get through this paper, or else we are really going to struggle. I will repeat again, in grade 10, it's a transition, an uphill climb from grade 9. So which means there are a lot of requirements there, whereby you are so relaxed in senior phase, but in FET, we don't give you time to relax because of the requirements of the grade, which is the beginning of FET phase. Please understand the importance of reading. All right, let's go to our paper 3 now. The last assignment under paper 3, no, the third assignment, my apologies, under paper 3 will be your literature assignment or project. Fortunately, it's different from what you did in senior phase again. So which means this is something whereby you really need to be knowledgeable of your novel or of your drama that you are reading so that you can be able to get through it, or of the poems that you are doing, because those will come in handy. So as a result, the literature assignment, a research will be done first. You don't write the assignment, you just write notes. Then you bring those notes into class, whereby you compile the project in class under supervision. Your last assignment under paper 2 will be the end of year exam. The end of year exam is a full paper, whereby you have your seen poem, your unseen poem, the one you didn't study for, that just comes in the exams, and once your skill of analyzing a poem to answer it, your drama, and your contextual questions, essay and contextual questions, which is very demanding. My learners do the Lighthouse Keeper's Wife. It's very short, but it has a lot of details. So as a result, they must be able to come and give the essay beautifully of the transition of being in an asylum, wanting to be free, automatically another character also having the same thing, and how it ends. So as a result, the drama essay is something that will be drilled into you, and the answering of the contextual questions, and then that will be your final assignment or assessment for paper 2 in the end of year examinations. We go to our paper 3. Our paper 3 is our writing. As I said, it's 100 marks. As you remember, yes, it's our creative writing, whereby you have your essay writing and your transactional. So we're having several tasks. Let's go and see which tasks are making up our paper 3. We have task number 2, whereby we're starting with transactional writings. How to write a friendly formal letter, how to write a newspaper, how to write an article, a dialogue, a speech, an email. You have been doing these things in grade 9, but the word limit has not been the same. Remember, you were less than this. I believe you were 160 words, but now you're going to 200 words. So as a result, you know these things. But of course, now we're doing it now in a longer form, whereby the word limit has changed, but the skill of the type of transactional has not changed. The planning has not changed. We've been teaching you process writing. It has not changed. And I'm happy that beautifully my grade 9s came in at the end of the year, coming in to say, I have process writing, I'm planning, I'm editing, and I'm beautifully giving you your letter or your newspaper article or your essay. So it doesn't change. It's a process writing strategy. So let's continue with that. I think we prepared grade 9s beautifully because we had so much time with them. So we should not be facing challenges. Instead, we should be facing the length. That's the only thing that we have. Our second task that will come in under paper 3 is our task number 5, whereby you have the writing essay. It hasn't changed. We taught you in grade 9 and 8 what a narrative essay is and how it's written. Characteristics of a narrative essay were taught. Descriptive essay was taught. Argumentative essay was taught. As we're saying that your task number 5 is your next paper 3 assessment. So please, you've been doing this for a long time. Narrative, descriptive, argumentative, picture essay that we call visual stimuli. The only thing that has changed is your word limit again, because you're now going to 350 words. So which means we need to really have more content. Creativity is from inspiration. Inspiration is from reading. Inspiration is from seeing things. So if you really are just on TikTok all the time, I don't think you'll have much stimuli and content for your writing essays. But what you have read somewhere, what you have seen somewhere is really going to bring in. The only things that you guys touch on TikTok is dancing videos. So you won't have much there. So as a result, we really need you to expand your knowledge when it comes to paper 3. Be knowledgeable. Touch on a number of areas. You are doing a syllabus that is called the CAPS curriculum. What we mean by the CAPS curriculum is that there is a relationship between subjects. So as a result, don't think that what you are learning in geography is going to end in geography. Climate is affecting a lot of things in the world. So as a result, a comprehension can come on climate. You can write an essay, argumentative essay on climate and exactly what is not being done or what should be done, and therefore you can show your knowledge there. So that's why I'm encouraging people to really be knowledgeable and read so that they can get through this paper. Remember, we said it's 100 marks. So this essay is 50 marks. That is a lot. You're coming from 40 marks in grade 9, remember, but now you're coming to 50 marks. And then your next task that is under paper 3 is your final, which is paper 3 exams, which will be the end of year, whereby you're really going to have an essay. This time around, you are doing 2 transactional writings, which brings you to 50 marks. You've been doing 1. So as a result, please prepare yourself that you are going to have a full paper 3 of 100 marks with an essay of 50 marks and 2 transactional writings of 25 marks each, bringing you to 50 marks. So please make sure that whatever you are doing, you are going to bring this on board and understand yourselves on what you are supposed to do. So we need you to be very clear on your task. Know your task number 1 and its requirements. Know your task number 2, your task number 3, and task number 4, which will give you end of term 1 mark. Know your task number 5 in term 2, the task number 6, and the task number 7, which is basically saying you must be able to know all these things. So let's prepare ourselves, grade 10s. You must know in term 3, I am touching on the literature task and just prepare to an unprepared reading aloud, and I will be fine. You must know in term 4, you're just having exams. There is no task. The task is actually exams themselves. So as a result, out of 250 marks, you'll do your paper 1, your paper 2, and your paper 3, and therefore you will be done. So as we are coming in, a lot of hard work is needed. Commitment, cooperation, effort must be put. But what we are definitely saying is that English home language in grade 9, is not the same as English home language in grade 10 because it is more advanced. It has a lot of tasks. It has a lot of work to do. It has a lot of practice that needs to be done. And therefore, you must be ready. Content hasn't changed much. As I said, you're still doing the friendly letters. You're still doing the speeches. You're still doing the comprehension. You're still doing the writing essays. So which means you really know. You were doing poetry, though we were not doing a prescribed list. When we say prescribed list, we're talking about that there is 10 poems that are sent through to say, these are only being done in grade 10. And therefore, we'll know them when we begin, and therefore, we'll be following that order until we finish the 10 poems. Read, read, read. Know more, desire to know more. The more reading you do, the more knowledgeable you will be. So as a result, we don't expect laziness, but we expect cooperation because you have 10 tasks in total. That is a lot. In grade, 9? I believe you didn't even reach 8 tasks or so. But now you have 10 tasks, and therefore you must be able to go through them and do them properly and pass them so that you can be able to get through your grade. A lot will be done in class. So please, let's make sure that we cooperate when it comes to practice sessions of activities, and homeworks must be done so that you can practice more and rectify mistakes that must be done. Grade 10 is what we call the foundation to our grade 12. What we introduced to you in grade 10 is I've introduced today is what you are going to do in grade 11 and do in grade 12 and automatically pass from it. So there's nothing new that will come in grade 11. What comes in grade 11 now is an extension and an expansion of what you have done in grade 10 in a more advanced manner. In grade 12, it is highly advanced, but it is still the test 1, comprehension summary language. The difficulty is where you are going to find that, oh, it's in grade 12, it's more difficult. It's in grade 10, okay, it was manageable. So as a result, it's a growth of content. Same things being done for 3 consecutive years, but the advancement in content is what is different, which means that you need to understand and get the basics, which is the foundation in grade 10, for you to get through paper 1, for you to get through paper 2, for you to get paper 3, and easily pass your orals. It is compulsory for you to pass your orals because the paper is out of 50 marks, as we said, and the pass mark is 30 out of 50. So you're not allowed to fail your orals. It is not allowed that you fail your orals either. It's because it's something that has to do with you showing the knowledge of speaking, fluency, logical presentation of ideas, of facts and opinions, and you will be circled. So we are trusting you to prepare yourselves when you're being given the task so that you can be able to get through them properly. There will be a lot of activities and content that you will be getting so that you can be able to manage and get through the grade. So please internalize them. Every time you do something, you go back to it. Ask if you don't understand because it's a change and a transition from grade 10. And therefore, you must be able to know it properly. You do that, you're going to have a beautiful foundation for grade 10, for grade 11, and exceed to grade 12. As a result, let's make sure we internalize these tasks and programs, and we make sure that we understand their importance to your final exams, and you'll be able to get through the grade. English home language pass mark is 40%, remember? So that's a pass mark. So please make sure that you are always far from the borderline, which is 40%, so that you can go to the next grade. So as a result, 40% is highly possible, but also 80% is highly possible if you really do want to pass your home language, because it's all about you internalizing what you have learned, practicing what you're doing, and knowing your content according to the guidelines of these papers that we listed here. Get your content 70 mark wise, 80 mark wise, 100 mark wise, 50 mark wise. You will not get lost. Know what's paper 1, know what's paper 2, know what's paper 3, and definitely know what's paper 4 so that you don't get confused. You do that, you'll be fine. All right. Thank you very much for your time. We will be meeting each other on the other lessons that will follow automatically. Thank you.